expedition, campaign, trek, course, trip, passage, hike, migration, pilgrimage, quest, that's a good one, venture, and voyage. These are all words from the thesaurus for journey. How about that? Hey, welcome to the Living Luppy podcast. My name is Luppy, and I'm living, and that's the name of the show. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you guys again. Even though I can't see you, maybe you can see me if you're watching the video version of this, or hear me. Anyway, whatever. It's nice to be with you again. Like I said, my name is Luppy, and this podcast is about my quest. My quest to lose 200 pounds. Basically, a fat musician trying to lose 200 pounds. That is what you've tuned into today, and I really appreciate it. So, if you haven't tuned in before, this podcast is just a little different than other health and fitness podcasts. This is from the view of a fat dude who doesn't have all the answers, but is trying and working it out and learning and figuring it out and trying to get on the right track. I'm so darn tootin' glad you're here. All right, well, we started with our list of new words for journey. I was using the word journey too much in the first podcast episode, and so we got some new words. I'm going to try some of those out for you today. Every week I'm going to weigh in here, and I did weigh in this morning, and let's just jump right into it. Let's see how that went. All right, so there you have it, 439 pounds and 46% body fat, basically. The body fat isn't super accurate, I don't think. I think it's kind of a basic approximation. That's a tough word to say. But the weight is pretty accurate for the day. And if you haven't tuned in before, in the first episode, I weighed in for the first time, and I started at 437 pounds. That was my pen. Yeah, you like that noise? I'm just throw the pen around. We're trying different pen antics this week. Anywho, the first week I weighed in at 437. Second week was 436. And now we're at 439, which means I've gained a couple pounds. And, that's not awesome. But that's the point of this, is it's not always going to be awesome. I've been struggling, man. This last week, I'm still struggling with the ice cream. I am still wanting to come home and overeat every night. I'm having a hard time getting to that place where you're just all in, where you're just like, game on, let's do this. I'm in. I hear the things that I say on this podcast. I hear the thoughts that go through my head every day, and I am frustrated with myself, but I can't just force it. I can't make it happen. It has to come naturally. So I've been working on it, and this podcast really helps me to be accountable to you guys and to talk about this stuff. It's been good, but I don't know why I can't quite get to that just game on thing. I do promise that one of these weeks, I am going to come on this podcast and I will be there. It will be game on. In the meantime, we're going to talk about the things that keep us down, the addictions and stuff that a lot of us deal with, and that I definitely deal with. And so let's talk about food and how I ate this week. The biggest thing to me right now, and I know that your health has to be a priority and should be number one. But to be honest, my priority right now is finances, and I have got to get some things taken care of. And in order to do that, I have had to cut the food budget, which is good. Now, let's talk about what I used to spend. I used to spend $1,000 a month on food. Yes, I am a single guy. I am not married. I have no kids, no dependents. I live alone. And my food budget, well, that's not what my budget was, but what I was really spending was about $1,000 every month. And that is way, way too much. That's crazy. That's what going to Taco Bell every night and Domino's every day does for you. My two biggest addictions there with food. But anyway, I'm going through some financial stuff and trying to live a little tighter. And so the first thing to go was eating out and expensive grocery shopping. And that brought me to my favorite grocery store in the world, Aldi. If you have never shopped at Aldi, oh my gosh, it's awesome. It's super, super cheap. They do all this awesome stuff. First of all, you have to bring a quarter to put in this little slot to get your cart out. So you have to put a quarter in to get your cart. And then when you're done, if you put it back and you put the little thingy in the slot, you get your quarter back, which is awesome. And what that does is it makes people want to not leave their carts out in the parking lot. People want that quarter back. So that has saved them. I can't even imagine how much money, because they don't have to pay for teenage kids to go out and bring the carts in. The other thing is you bag your own groceries, so no baggers. Also, they don't give you bags. You have to either pay for them or bring your own, or use some boxes that they have that the products came in and stuff. So you can get boxes, you can buy bags. That's usually what I do, 6 cents for brown bags. Pretty cheap. But they do that too, and that's another thing they do all these things that keep their overhead down nice and low. And then you go in and you can buy a week's worth of groceries for $37. It's awesome. They have mostly their own brand of stuff, and they kind of have different brands for different things. But, it's good food, too. Their hummus is great. Chips are good. Their pizzas are really good. So the only problem with Aldi is that their produce isn't always great. And I'm still trying to figure out the best day to go, like when it's the freshest. I haven't figured it out. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday, but, if you don't go early or at the right time, it's slim pickings. People have picked through everything. Sometimes things don't look so fresh. You have to be kind of flexible, like one day the avocados maybe look good, so we're going to get avocados today. Maybe you wanted to get clementines, but the clementines don't look so good. So that's the only kind of frustrating thing with Aldi. It's not always, the produce isn't always there what you want. The other thing that's a little frustrating is when they run out of products, sometimes they don't have it again for months. They've been out of veggie burgers for a month. I like their veggie burgers. They're really good. But they've been gone for a month and they haven't restocked it yet. And it's just like, yeah, deal with it. So there's a couple of things like that. But I do like the store. It has really helped me save a lot of money. They have a good couple of brands there where they're cutting out all MSG and preservatives, and it's a little more whole food oriented. So they're really doing a lot of stuff with that, some stuff with organic fruits and stuff like that. So it's getting better every day. I was able to take my food spending from $1,000 a month down to, I think it's $253 for this month. 253, baby. Yeah. That's huge. That's huge saving, man. It's awesome. So I love it. Now, the problem and the frustration with that is the cheaper groceries are always the cheese and the bread and the chips, to really buy a lot of whole food stuff, it takes a little more money and not probably a different store because you can't quite get everything at Aldi. So it's been a challenge. Now, I know that sounds like an excuse. It is a little bit. But like I said, my number one priority is finances. And so I have been just trying to figure out how to get the food, the right food in my house so that when I'm done with a gig and I'm feeling weak and I want to go to Taco Bell, instead of going to Taco Bell and spending $26, that's right, I spent $26 at Taco Bell. We'll talk about that in another podcast. But I spend $26 in Taco Bell. Instead of doing that, I have stuff at home that can be, I can make a cheesy roll-up taco thing. That'll be good. I'll just go home, eat that. It keeps me from going to Taco Bell at 2 in the morning. So that's good, financially and health-wise. I just turned my head and coughed. That was funny. That's for me. Anyway, the other thing is the next day I would get up and order pizza, and that would be $30, $40 for pizza. So I make sure I have good options for that here instead. Pizza, frozen pizzas from Aldi. So I'm able to save a lot of money, and that is my number one concern. And so I need to do that, but I need to start moving towards a whole food version of that. And that's going to be a little trickier. I'm not totally sure how to do it and keep it super cheap. So that's something I'm going to have to start researching. And maybe we'll do a podcast about that when I get some more information, how to eat a whole food. I'm a vegetarian, a whole food vegetarian diet on a budget. Now, I mean, I don't know why I said that like that. But yeah, eating good, but eating on a budget, because a lot of times it's hard to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And that's kind of was my biggest failing this week, was just eating a lot of comfort foods as well as continue to eat the ice cream. And I gained 3 pounds from last week. And that's going to continue to happen unless I make some changes. So it's hard. This is what I mean about how the show is going to go. Some weeks are going to be victory, and some weeks are going to be, man, I'm struggling with this. I'm in a bad cycle right now. I'm doing a lot of things right, but I know I can do better. I need to get to that place where I'm all in, all or nothing. Let's do it. Let's, fired up. I promise I'll get there. I'm working on it every day. And so that would be a good thing for anybody out there listening to comment on. If you want to go to the Facebook page or the link for this podcast and leave a comment and let us know how you got there. If you're in that place where you're just all in, game on, let's do this, fired up, going to the gym every day, what your process was to get there, or what kind of stuff you tell yourself every day to keep yourself there, to keep yourself motivated, what kind of stuff you do. So, please share that if you got any tips. And, it's all in your head. It's all in your mind. And that brings us to our battle notes of the week. Mind your body. See what I did there? Segues. What? All right, so this week in our battle notes, we are going to talk about a book called Mind Your Body. Here it is. I'll put it up there for the video viewers. The book is called Mind Your Body. It's by Joel Harper, and he's the personal trainer for Dr. Oz. Now, I like Dr. Oz as much as the next guy, but, those big TV personalities are always trying to sell some product. It's business. I get it. I would do it too if I was on TV. So, you got to take all that kind of stuff with a grain of salt. But what happened with this book, and actually it's kind of a funny story. I had 2 books checked out from the library. I checked them out about 10 years ago. And, I had them for a while and they were past due, and then months turned into, a year. And then I got so scared to go back, just like, I didn't want to deal with it and pay some big fine. So I just decided, well, I'm never going to go to the library again, I guess, because I have these 2 books and I don't want to pay the fines. That seriously went on for 10 years. And finally, recently, when I've been starting to read a little bit more and study some nutrition and fitness stuff, and I also got into a position where I need to not spend any money. So I decided it's time to go back to the library, right? And I was like, all right, I guess I got to deal with this. So I finally found my 2 books. 10 years later, I went to the library, turned them in. They kind of joked around with me, gave me a new library card. After all that time, my fines were only like $3.15. All that, 10 years, all that for $3.15. So I finally went back, gave them the books back, got a new card, and now it's game on, man. Libraries are awesome, dude. There's all this stuff in there. Do you know they have books and stuff in there? It's crazy. You can just check them out. It's nuts. And, movies and everything. It's awesome, man. So when I got my new library card, I went over to the health and fitness, and it was kind of a health and fitness section, and it was kind of a small library, so they didn't have a whole lot. But I saw this book, it was Mind Your Body. I'm like, I'll check it out. It might be a little, hokey or whatever, like just kind of trying to sell some kind of program to the masses, but whatever, I might learn something. So I checked it out. It turns out that this book is really great. I actually really, really like it. Last week we were in the podcast, we were talking about books talking about emotional eating and how you just have to deal with your emotions, but they don't really tell you how to deal with that emotion or how to fix it. And that is where Mind Your Body comes in and does just that. It's great. So he talks all about basically deserve levels. And what that means is you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how much you think you deserve something. And there are basically 10 categories. And this is all about living a well-balanced life, right? So all the kind of different categories in your life that you need to make sure you are actively pursuing and try to make better. So the 10 categories were fitness, nutrition, family and friends, nest, spiritual condition, work, attitude, finances, habits and interests. Hobbies and interests. That's what makes more sense. Hobbies and interests, and dreams. So what it does is it takes these 10 categories and you take these little quizzes for each one. And then at the end of the quiz, you add up your score, and that gives you what he calls your deserve level, basically meaning what you think, how much you think you deserve success in each one of those areas, or what your success is. So if let's take like fitness and you get a 5, well, that means there's room for improvement. You're not doing everything that you know you deserve and need to do to be happy about your fitness level. So it's great, man. It really helped me like kind of think through some things and get organized and help me figure out the things in my life that were lacking, right? So the cool part is after you take this quiz and you get your numbers, then he helps you put all that into a plan of action, which is, again, where a lot of those books leave off, But this helps you, like, okay, you go into each one of those categories and you figure out what are some actions I can do to improve each one. And you make a list of all the actions you can do, and you organize them by an easy list and a hard list, okay? The easy list is like easy, simple things like buy a book and research this and call this person or whatever. And the harder list is the kind of harder things that take a little more effort to do, right? So each one of these things, and you kind of go through which one is important to you to improve first. So maybe your finances are really bad, so let's deal with that first. So you kind of prioritize them the way that what's important to you. But after you get these easy and hard lists, you basically just every day go through and start knocking stuff out. And the cool thing, too, that he does with the hard list is put them on Post-it notes, or I use index cards I'm a big believer in index cards. I use them a lot. I have the stack of index cards of 10 harder things, and every day I try to take one and knock it out. So as you go through and you get all your 10 easy things, all your 10 hard things done, just right there, your life is going to be improved dramatically. That's what I was going to say, dramatically. Dramatically is the word. Your life is going to improve dramatically just from doing those, 20 things. The things you've been putting off forever, things you've been just, I don't know. This makes you face it and better your life. And you know what that does? It makes you feel fulfilled. It makes you feel motivated. It gives you happiness. It gives you contentment and peace. All the things we're all searching for. And then it's amazing. And then as you're doing all that, that makes you want to take better care of yourself, eat better, exercise, all that stuff improves, It's weird how when you improve one aspect of your life, everything improves, So this kind of takes a look at all those different aspects in your life and help them improve step by step. It's great, man. It's a great book. It really helped me get organized. After that section in the book, there is a diet plan and a fitness plan, and you can continue to follow all that. It all is pretty good too, but I kind of have other plans in place that I'm working on, so I don't really follow all that to the T. But just the stuff about getting your mind right alone makes it totally a worthwhile read. So I highly, highly recommend it. It has really helped me look through all the confusion and chaos of life and kind of help you focus in on what's really important. And let's go to work. Let's figure out what I need to do, and let's do it. And let's make life better. So Mind Your Body by Joel Harper. Check it out. It's a great book. It has helped me and continues to help me every day. All right, well, it's time to take a break. And we're going to play a quick ad here. If you are interested in doing some advertising on the show or sponsoring the show, give me a shout at livingluppy, Luppy, at gmail.com. Or you can message us at the Facebook page, facebook.com/livingluppy. Again, Luppy is Luppy. Give us a shout, and we can hook something up. In the meanwhile, in the meantime, is that the way you say that? I don't know. In the meanwhile, I am going to continue to advertise my own stuff. So for now, we're going to hear something else that I'm advertising and proud of. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Luppy, or you can call me Chris Swan. That's my real name. I just want to welcome you into my studio here and say thanks for checking out my page about piano lessons. I'd love to get together and show you some stuff. I love teaching how to play by ear, so I can teach you a system that will help you hear a song on the radio and know what you're hearing and be able to figure it out pretty quickly. It only takes a few lessons to really get you started on that. But I also teach everything else too. I teach reading music, and I teach kids as young as 5 up to adults 120. There is no limit. So all ages, all people are welcome. I just love music and would love to share what I know and try to teach you how to play some of the songs you love. All right? Give me a shout. Thanks.
Instead of the dead emotions I fed myself for so long, I go on daily trips where I sip margaritas in paradise. I'm hip, that'd be nice. I slice myself in half. One half wants to roll with this girl, while the other looks past her and sees a whole other life in search of gold, like a pirate who went.
That sure is a catchy song. I sure like that. I dig it. Those are some hip sounds. I might even say they're fresh. Okay. That right there is Fireworks by Luppy. Yours truly. Every month I am featuring a single of mine on here. So that one is Fireworks. It's a song about trying to find the fireworks in your relationship with your significant other. Sometimes the other person is more in love with you than you are with them, and it sure would be great if you were on that same level, and sometimes you just can't make yourself get there. Can't force it, but as much as you want to see the fireworks, sometimes it's hard. So that's what that song's all about. Yeah, you know, you can download it on iTunes and put it in your workout playlist, and it all comes together. See? So check it out. Fireworks by Luppy. All right, welcome back to the Living Luppy podcast. My name is Luppy, and yeah, we're having a good time today, chatting it up nice with myself, and I'm pretending that you are all here with me, though, as I know you are, and I appreciate you guys listening. It is time. Hello, governor. It is time. I can't do accents. That's something I wish I was better at. It's time for the health fact of the day. That's right. Every week on the show, I go to the interwebs and I pick out a health fact that I don't know if it's true. It sounds true, but I don't research it at all. I do no research. I just grab it, say it, and just assume it's true. So today, our health fact, I like this one actually. Laughing 100 times is equivalent to 15 minutes of exercise on a stationary bike. I think there's a lot of truth in that, man. There's a lot of power in laughter. I can't tell you how many times I've been down and out and feeling blue. But, you know, just found a way to laugh about it a little bit, and it always works. It picks you right up, makes your day better. It also does burn calories to laugh. So it is healthy for you to laugh as much as you can. I remember sometimes being on the road. I used to play piano bars in the Caribbean, which sounds awesome, you know, and it was awesome in a lot of ways. I got to see a lot of cool places, meet a lot of cool people. It was great. But ultimately, it ends up being really lonely and kind of depressing because you're by yourself all the time. You're away from your family and friends. You're away from all your stuff and comforts. You live there on the island for a month at a time. And, you meet a lot of people, but they're on their honeymoon. And they're there for a couple of days, and then they go, and you're all by yourself and cynical, and they're all in love and on vacation. And I just remember I had some hard times down there, and it got really lonely and sad. And I just remember the biggest thing that got me through was laughter. I used to listen to a lot of comedy albums, and it would keep me comfort. It's like I was hanging out with those guys, and they were just cracking me up and making me feel better, you know? It really got me through some tough times all through my life. And that's why I am a big fan of stand-up comedy. Being a musician, sometimes you get tired of listening to music and you need a break from music. And but you still, you're in your car for 5 hours or you want to listen to something else. So talk radio is good. Podcasts are great. But then another thing that has really worked for me is listening to comedy. And I've become a big comedy fan over the years just for that reason. Just, for something different to listen to, something to kind of make me feel better. It really works. And it works a lot like ice cream, and it's less calories. There's no calories in listening to music. Or not music, to comedy. Music too, whatever you listen to. I mean, music definitely has the same effect as well. But we are talking about comedy albums, bringing it all back. And yeah, man, it really does lift your spirits in a much healthier way than food. So I would encourage you. Matter of fact, that brings us to the challenge of the week. My challenge to you this week is to take the time, either if you have Spotify, get on Spotify, Apple Music, if you have Apple Music, or you can do it on YouTube, or you can do it the old-fashioned way and go buy a CD. But I want you to listen to one comedy album this week and see if it doesn't make your day just a heck of a lot better. Seriously. There's so many good ones out there. If you need any suggestions, you can email me or message me on the Facebook page, and I'll give you some suggestions. The ones that come to mind, some of my favorites are Louis C.K., Greg Giraldo, Jim Gaffigan, Patton Oswalt, Kyle Kinane. Who am I missing? Let's see. Those are good ones. Mark Maron. Yeah, dude. Oh, Hannibal Buress, David Cross. Yeah, and Mark Maron, man, he's one of my faves. So anyway, yeah, dude, just pick one of those. Pick an album. You can't go wrong. Listen, laugh, love yourself. You know, it's gonna be okay. So we all struggle with stuff, but it's really important to laugh along the way and not take everything so seriously every day, you know? So take the time this week to laugh, all right? I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been a good time. I enjoy this time with you guys, and really do appreciate you checking it out. Please feel free to comment on the Facebook page and let me know what you guys are going through. Share your stories. You know, this is about me getting stuff off my chest for sure, but it's also very much about you and what you're going through and what you maybe need to hear or what you need to share with us or with me. We're all in this together, man. We're all human beings. We're not perfect, so I want you to stop loathing yourself, stop shaming yourself, start loving yourself, and realize you can do anything you put your mind to. Just don't give up. Never give up. We're going to figure this out together. All right? Have a good week. It's going to be a good one. I can feel it. All right? I'll see you out there. See you next week. Bye.